TomoNews presents Fake Things in China.
Duping people with fake animals used to be so much easier back in the day. But visitors to a zoo in China's Henan province proved to be nobody's fool when the zoo tried to pass off a mangy mutt as the king of the jungle. One customer recounted how he tried to play along, telling his young son it was a special kind of lion. That was until Simba began barking. In other exhibits, the zoo allegedly tried to pass off foxes as leopards, while its wolf turned out to be just another phony pooch. But visitors really smelled a rat when they passed through the zoo's snake enclosure. The administrator tried to placate angry customers by explaining the real lion had been taken to another zoo to breed, but they were having none of it. The people running the zoo must have forgotten that Chinese people are experts at spotting fake stuff. Wonder where they got their inspiration from.
Subscribe now and never watch boring news again.
China food safety. Girl vomits after eating paraffin wax dumplings. Chinese woman Miss Liu became suspicious after cooking some sticky rice dumplings that she bought in her local supermarket. She found a white substance floating on the surface after cooking them and concluded that it was probably paraffin wax. Her daughter then returned home from school, ate the tangyuan without her mother knowing, and then vomited. The supermarket said it was the fault of the manufacturer, while the manufacturer said the white material was palm oil. Food safety has been one of the hottest topics in China in recent years.
Cooking oil in China is recycled from the gutters. Chinese authorities have battled to get rid of gutter oil in the country's kitchens for years, cracking down on illegal oil production rings since 2011. But now it seems the black market oil in street-side stalls could be used to power up airplane engines. With Chinese cooking being so heavy on the oil, some enterprising people thought up a cheap way to produce it by recycling garbage. First, they scoop up waste containing used oil or animal fat from sewers, gutters, or dumpsters and take it to processing plants. After the mixture is refined and processed, the oil is repackaged and sold to vendors in small restaurants at below market prices. As reprocessed sewage, gutter oil contains carcinogens, which may lead to cancer and other health problems. But with the disgusting oil served up in cheap street eats, unsuspecting foodies may be none the wiser. Other countries have long used recycled oil not for cooking, but for industrial purposes, something China only caught on to in recent years. In 2014, Boeing partnered with a Chinese aircraft company to turn gutter oil into sustainable biofuel. After a Hainan Airlines flight flew from Shanghai to Beijing last March on a 50-50 mix of gutter oil and jet fuel, China might very well turn gutter oil into gold.
China's futuristic elevated bus may just be an elaborate investment scam. China's much-hyped elevated bus, which last week completed a test run, may not only just be impractical and unfeasible, as many are saying. Website Shanghaiist reports China's state media now says the whole thing was an illegally funded project aimed at scamming investors. China's Global Times tabloid also attacked the thing's designer for having only an elementary school education. Nevertheless, the proposed transit elevated bus, or TEB, is 22 meters long, 7.8 meters wide, and can carry up to 300 passengers. It runs on rails laid on ordinary roads and occupies 2 traffic lanes. Passengers board the bus through an elevated bus stop. It is powered by both solar power and electricity. Through a technology called relay charging, the bus receives electricity as it enters a bus station. The TEB straddles the road 2 meters above the ground, which allows smaller vehicles to pass below. It is equipped with sensors on its front, rear, and sides to warn vehicles to not get too close, and large vehicles to not pass below. The TEB development company says one bus could replace 40 conventional buses and could save 2,640 tons of carbon emissions. 4 buses could be linked together and operate in a train-like manner. The bus can reach a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour. However, the bus can only run on a mostly straight track and is unable to perform sharp turns. Although last week's test received wide media coverage, the thing only traveled 300 meters at a slow speed and without traffic beneath it. What's more, the city didn't even know about the test, let alone approve it. So this elevated bus, which is actually a train, may never get off the ground.
In China, it's normal coming across fake or counterfeit goods everywhere you go. In fact, it's probably more of a shock when things are actually real. You could say that China likes to keep it real with all its fake stuff. Take the completely harmless, made-in-China iPhone chargers for example. They're a killer buy and perfect for any occasion. Better yet are these set of emergency doors located in a Chinese mall. There are 2 of them to make things extra efficient. And better yet, it doubles the feng shui.
Wyjście awaryjne w Chinach.
Okay, so maybe having emergency doors that don't actually lead anywhere might not be the best idea. But honestly, what could possibly go wrong? In fact, having such genius architectural design could even prove to be useful to the Chinese authorities in some instances. So next time you're in China and you use some emergency doors that lead to nowhere, don't freak out. It's supposed to be like that.
Surprised? A zoo in southern China thought it was clever enough to deceive its visitors with inflatable penguins when they claimed they were exhibiting real penguins. Guishan Zoo, recently opened in Yuling, China's Guangxi province, advertised itself as a place where people could see rare animals and learn more about wildlife. At the equivalent of $2.25 for a single ticket, anyone can visit the first zoo ever in Yuling. Enthusiastic Yuling residents flocked to the zoo with cameras, hoping to document some... Hold on a second. Roosters and geese? And what the heck is this? A turtle in a glass box? Here comes the best part. The penguins are actually just some blow-up penguins, which were scattered around some dried-up pools. China, you are so lihai. Folks on Chinese social media Weibo are seriously entertained. As one guy points out, you forgot the other animals like mosquitoes, ants, flies, and mice that are displayed at the zoo. However, this isn't the first zoo in China to bamboozle its visitors with fake animals. In 2013, a zoo in Henan province had a Tibetan Mastiff stand in as an African lion.
China keeping it real with fake butterflies. First, there's the fake penguins in China, and now they've decided to take fakeness to the next level by presenting you with a fake butterfly exhibition. The exhibition, called Dinosaur and Butterfly, was held last weekend at a park in Mashan County in Guangxi's Zhuang Autonomous Region. According to advertisements that appear on Chinese messaging app WeChat, tens of thousands of butterflies from far and wide at the exhibition will land on visitors' shoulders and fingers. But when Mr. Huang and his daughter traveled 62 miles to see the exhibition, all they saw were plastic butterflies placed haphazardly on the ground. Visitors left enraged, saying they felt they were cheated by the Yuling Beishan Exhibition Service Company, which organized the event. A staffer defended the company, saying the ad was not fake, and why couldn't a plastic butterfly land on someone's finger? What are they smoking? The park, meanwhile, has responded, saying the exhibitors have already cleared everything away, and if something like this happens again, they won't rent the area out to them. The organizers, meanwhile, are resolute in their stance that the exhibition was really up to everyone's imagination.
China's plastic surgeons may only have 4 days of training. In 4 days, you too could be a licensed plastic surgeon. Don't believe it? Well, in China there are apparently truckloads of so-called plastic surgeons who only have a high school degree, because that's all you need to take a 4-day class in South Korea. One man, nicknamed Awww, claiming to be a plastic surgeon in China, explains that he used to be a hairdresser, but that he'd always wanted to look like a K-pop star. So back in 2012, he met a doctor about getting a double eyelid and rhinoplasty surgery, and paid a pretty penny for it all. Unfortunately, the results were less than desirable, and despite many attempts, Awww was ignored by the doctor, clinic, and legal system. Unhappy with his face, Awww bought a DIY facial surgery kit and began injecting Botox into his face. He would later do work on his nose, forehead, and lip. Now addicted, Awww spent another chunk of change to fly to South Korea, where he attended the 4-day class. The class even grants a license to its graduates. This is the license that hangs in Awww's office. He is now a self-proclaimed plastic surgeon who performs Botox injections, seeing 2 to 5 patients a day and earning between $6,000 to $8,000 US a month. Clearly, medical degrees are overrated.
China has a brand new toy that doesn't work yet. In a rush to sit with the big boys, China launched its first homegrown aircraft carrier this week after days of congratulating themselves. Officials watched as a champagne bottle was smashed on the bow of the fully non-operational ship. Yay! The unique one-of-a-kind design, copied from the Russians, marks a major step for the greatest country in the universe. The as-of-yet unnamed hunk of junk still needs a lot of equipment and has to undergo more testing before it's ready for trials in the water. Similar to its second-hand Liaoning carrier, the new carrier uses a ski jump-shaped launch platform to get planes in the air. This and other technical limitations mean that China's carriers won't have the range of US ones, nor will their planes pack as much punch. But China doesn't really need its carriers to actually go anywhere. Everyone knows the only thing they're going to be used for is saber rattling in the South China Sea to protect their fake little man-made islands. Go China, go China, go China!